welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to film this makeup look, so give a thumbs up if you do enjoy it and comment down below any suggestions for the future.
No disclaimer, I know my door is broken behind me, just try and ignore it throughout the video. Everything's getting sorted very soon and my whole setup's going to be different, so yeah, let's get into the video.
So I'm going to start off by priming my eyelids because this obviously keeps your makeup to stay on longer on your eyes. Creasing doesn't really happen and it just makes everything so much easier. So I'm going to be priming my eyelids with the Art Deco, I think that's how you say it. The other eye. So once it's all on the lid, I'm going to be using a bit of some concealer. I'm using the Benefit Boy. I need to seriously get a new one because it's basically run out. But this is such a good concealer. So I'm literally just putting this on the eyelids and over the primer. So once you put concealer over the primer, I'm going to be powdering it so it's all set. So I'm using the Stay Matte Powder by Rimmel and my Real Techniques contour brush, I think it's called. And I'm just patting it off and I'm just putting it all across the lid just to set the concealer. Start with the eyeshadow. Today I'm kind of concentrating on the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette. So I'm starting off with my Zoeva Luxe Soft Crease. This is such a good brush to get into your crease. It's so suitable and I love it. So I'm going to be starting off with Bay from the palette is there. This is just a nice shade to start off with. It's very light, it's a suitable shade anyway, I think so. So I'm just putting this all in the crease. So now I'm doing the same thing to the other eye, obviously. I'm so tired guys, but I really felt like filming today. Me and my friends spent the night together last night and we had such a good time, but I'm very tired. So once that shade is equally in the crease on both lids, I am going to move on to the shade Sandalwood, which is in the right corner. This is a very good transition colour in the crease. So I'm also concentrating that shade in the crease just to go on top of Bay, just to get it a bit slightly darker. I'm actually happy with how it's going so far. I don't know, what do you guys think? So after I've got them shades in the crease, I'm then moving forward with the shade Cocoa. It's such a nice brown type, well, cocoa shade. I'm putting this in the outer third of my eyelid up into the crease with the base shadow brush by Real Techniques. So I'm tapping it off so I don't get too much, on the brush. And it won't get cakey or anything. I'm putting this on the outer third and then bringing it into the crease. Okay, there's a car just coming past. Are you gonna drive slowly? So once the eyelids are complete with the cocoa shade in the outer third crease, I've kind of got a bit carried away and put it kind of deeply into the crease. You don't have to do this, completely up to you, but I'm then next going to move on to my favourite part, which is putting the lid colour on, which is the theme of this whole look. It's the 24K shade. It's like this metallic gold and it's amazing. I honestly love this shade. I'm going to be applying this with my fingers, considering this is like the best way to get the right pigmentation. You've got to watch with this because it can get a bit messy, so you've got to make sure you don't put too much on your finger. I'm literally just putting this all across the lid. And if you have a bit of like dropout or fallout, it's completely fine, you can brush it away. That's why I started off with the eyeshadow, not the foundation. I'm then going to be moving on to the other eyelid and doing exactly the same thing. I'm then going to be putting a bit of the shade of Cocoa on my waterline. For this, I'm going to be using the Sigma Eye Shading E55 brush. So next, I'm going to be using the Zoeva Black Box Soft, I can't even pronounce it. It's like an eyeliner anyway, jet black eyeliner. And be putting this on my waterline, but not doing it harshly, just lightly putting it on my waterline. And also I might put a little bit on top of my eyelid, right close to my eyelash line. So once that is complete, I'm now going to be moving on to my eyebrows. I did my eyebrows off camera just because it was easier. However, I did use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in dark brown. I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills one of that, and I also used the Maybelline New York Master Shape in soft brown. Next, I'm moving on to primer. I am using the Smashbox primer in the consistency clear. So next I am going to be moving on to foundation. I have dampened my beauty blender. I'm going to be using the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation in the shade Bone, and I'm going to be mixing it with the Nars All Day Luminous in Mont Blanc. Oh god. And I'm going to be putting one pump to start off with of the Nars, and then like mixing it around. Yeah, I'll need 2 pumps. Applying this to everywhere on my face. Then I'm going to be blending it in with my beauty blender. I'm just going to be dabbing it, the typical dabbing. However, next I'm going to be using concealer. I'm going to be using the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. I'm going to be putting it under my eyes in triangles. I'm using it on any imperfections as well, just to conceal them. So I'm just blending this in as well with my beauty blender. I'm doing it so I get that kind of sharp effect on the side of my eyeshadow, not too much because I'm not doing a winged eyeliner. Next I'm going to be setting under my eyes. I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder as always. I'm using this with my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. I'm leaving this to kind of bake on my face while I set my whole face with the Benefit Hello Flawless powder. Now that driver just drove past again. And I'm using this with the contour brush by Real Techniques. I don't like putting too much on because it can look cakey, so I'm literally just patting it onto my face where I think I get oily. And I'm putting it on my nose, on my cheeks, but I'm not brushing off the baking yet. Next is brushing the bake off. So I'm going to be using the Real Techniques buffing brush just to buff my bake off. Next is bronzer or contouring. I'm using the Hoola bronzer by Benefit, which is amazing. I've used it for nearly 2 years now, so it's fab. And I'm using it with the MAC angled brush. And I'm just contouring my face, not putting too much on because I used to always put way too much bronzer on, and because I just wanted to look more tan, but I learned from that, just don't put too much on. Sometimes a little bit goes a long way. Is that right? So I'm going to be contouring, so I'm just putting it like, and then brushing it from side to side, kind of bringing it forward to my cheek and really blending it. That looks just about right, so I'm doing the same thing to the other side of my face. Now I'm putting some on the top of my forehead, side of my forehead, and then I buff it all out because I don't like it looking too much, so I always buff it all out. Next I'm going to be contouring my nose, so I'm going to be putting it down the sides of my nose. So what I normally do with this is make do with what I've got. I have got a few contour brushes, but I don't feel like they work properly because for your nose you need something that is not going to look too fake. So I'm using the same angled brush by MAC, and I'm just squeezing the brush together, using a bit of bronzer, tapping it off, squeezing it back again, and like just putting it down the bridge. So once you've got that real sharp contour on your nose, I'm going to be blending that out now. I'm blending it out with my contour brush by Real Techniques, and So next is highlight. I'm using a powder highlight, and it's the Mary Lou Manizer, and I'm using it with the Morphe fan brush, and I'm literally just putting it down the bridge of my nose and the tops of my cheekbones. And I'm putting in my inner corners and on my brow bone. So next is mascara. And the mascara I'm using is the Smashbox Full Exposure Mascara. So once mascara is done, I'm going to move on to my lips, which is the final step. I've run out of my lip liner that normally works for me. So I'm just going to move straight on to lipstick, which is not what I normally do, but I can't really do much about it at the moment. I'm using MAC Whirl. It's a matte lipstick, so I'm going to be applying that to my lips. And normally if I mess up on my lipstick, I tidy it up or clear it up with some concealer and a detailed brush just to go around the edges, which is what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to insert some clips of closer zooms up to my makeup so you guys get to look at it properly. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Please smash a thumbs up if you have, because it means so much. Also comment down below any suggestions for the future, but you will see quite a few makeup tutorials coming up very soon, as I am going to be filming quite a few different looks. Please remember to subscribe and check out my description box down below for all my social medias. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!